In large applications, we want to minimize the amount of code that needs to be downloaded to display a landing page of your application. The less code your application downloads, the faster the user will see it. If your application has some modules that are rarely used, you can make them downloadable on demand or lazy loaded. In the past, you need to use a third-party framework, example require.js, to implement lazy loading, but Angular supports it natively by using async route object, and we'll illustrate it in this video. So far we have been specifying the name of a concrete component for each route in route config, async route of a concrete component. This loader will load the code only if the user chooses to follow such a route. The main page of our next sample application will have 3 links: home, employee, and history items. In majority of cases, we will not click on employee history link, so why load the code that handles history in the initial bootstrap of the application? We will lazy load this code only if the user clicks on the employee history link. Now let's write code for this. First, let's create the history component that will show the employment history of this employee. Right now it just displays some text. Now let's go to our root component in app.ts. We will add the path for history link. The following code snippet shows the route config annotation with 3 routes: home, employee, and history. The code of the components for the first 2 routes is loaded during the bootstrap of this app, but the code for history.ts won't. The history route is configured when the loader that's invoked only if the user navigates to this route. The system loader immediately returns a promise, and when the code of the history.ts is loaded and transpiled, then the then method is invoked. The then method gets a wrapper object with the loaded module. We reference it as lib module, but it could be any name you like. The single line arrow expression returns a reference to the history component for rendering.